Amazing, great evening, beautiful people. I'm saying great evening, but I know we have people from all over the world joining us. So from wherever you are, whatever time of day it is, go to the chat right now. Meet me there. Drop a hello. Tell us where you're joining us from, and be sure to share this video. Be sure to share the video. Remember, we are all on a mission as a part of the Boss Tribe. We are the difference in the world. We are the game changers. We're the hope dealers, right? Purpose pushers. We're doing this thing together. So you're helping the boss mission, right? We are helping the world be a better place by simply clicking like and share on the video. But drop it below. Hello, Miss Brandon. We are so excited to have you here. Who is this? How are you doing today? We're so excited to have you from Tennessee. Absolutely, absolutely. So excited to have you here. Can't wait to jump into this conversation today, folks. You guys know what we do. How do we start every episode of Boss Moves? First of all, let me remind you that regardless of where you are and how you are, you matter. Let me say it one more time. It does not matter where you are physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Right now, you are still enough to do impact work. You are still perfectly positioned for purpose, right? So be reminded of that today. You guys know how we jump in. What's in your cup? Starting out, we got some guests and they are so excited to come on up to talk about this real relevant topic tonight. But what's in your cup, y'all? I'm trying a different tea tonight. And can I be honest? I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a big fan of cinnamon. And this one has a little bit of cinnamon in it. I'm going to keep drinking it, right? Because it's hot. But it's okay, right? What are you guys drinking tonight? Drop it in the chat for us. What's in your cup tonight? Hello, hello. We are so excited to have you, my fellow villagers. So excited to have you here. We're going to come on and drop. Where are you joining us from? Hello, where are you from? And don't forget to like and share the video. While you're doing that, I'm going to bring these two fabulous guests up on the screen while you guys are dropping it. Listen, tonight we are talking about imposter syndrome. So you guys know my 20 years of experience is coming mostly from the education world, got some background in psychology. But can I tell you, there are some things that are generalized and applicable to every field, right? And so this concept of imposter syndrome, can I tell you, it's relevant everywhere. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring them up while I'm giving you some stats, because Boss Moves is where, let me tell you where Boss Moves is in the intersection of where, take that off here. Boss Moves is in the intersection of where research, evidence-based research meets real world and real talk, right? That's where Boss Moves. That's the little space that we're in. 70%, let me say that again, 70%, everybody drop that in the chat for me. 70%, according to research, of all adults, let me say that again, 70% of all adults experience imposter syndrome at one point or another, right? So I know a lot of times we feel like I'm in this thing alone. It's just me. Can I tell you, the research clearly shows, and I know from my circle, and we're going to talk to these ladies as well. What about your circle? Is that the case? Or are we fooling ourselves thinking we're in this island alone? So here we go, ladies. We are so excited to have you guys. I have none other than Katie, Zazzara, and Ja'leasa Bolden. Hello, ladies.
Hello, hello.
I'm so excited you guys are here. So we're going to start here. Miss Bolden, will you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit of something about you and why you are a boss.
So I am Ja'leasa Bolden. I am currently the communications director for Miles Point School District and a very new mom. I have a 3-month-old baby that I am holding right now as we do this, which makes me boss because I'm balancing my professional life, my service life, and my mom life. I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the National School Public Relations Association of Mississippi, the National Public Relations Association Southeast representative to the Diversity Inclusion Committee. I am all over. I'm the vice president of Junior Auxiliary Pascal Miles Point. I believe in serving kids. My biggest feat right now is that I am a wife, a mother, a bonus mom, and a community leader. So I I am excited about this conversation. I'm ready to have this conversation as I have transitioned into new roles in the last 3 to 6 months. It's very important to open the space and talk about like who are you and what you're doing and how you can do it all if you want to. So I'm excited about being here, and thank you for inviting me to this space.
I'm so excited to have you. And I'm sorry that I have to say this, but I'm even more excited that that gorgeous baby girl is here with us as well. Hey, pretty girl. Got the pretty girl over there, right? All right, Katie, share with the people, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? And what makes you boss?
Oh, goodness. Well, it's hard to follow that. You two beautiful ladies up there. Well, my name's Katie. I actually am from a little bit of everywhere. I am a former military brat and spouse. So I actually claim Memphis, Tennessee as where I am from, but now this is home out here in Gulfport, Mississippi. I am the Center Performance Manager here at our local Galleria BMW, and I love training. I actually was a former cheer coach for 10 years. I also, helped with UCA. In college, I was a student ambassador. I've done a little bit of everything. I love the community. I love being a part of it. I love coaching and assisting people with. I might not have a baby, but I have a kitty cat that's might pop up every now and then. But other than that, but I think that's why I'm a boss. I am single, independent, and self-sufficient, I guess you could say.
Absolutely, you are. And can I tell you, I told you guys, Boss Moves is the perfect intersection of where research meets real life and real talk. And you just said something that we don't always talk about, and even for me, it's taken me a while to shed off the layers, right, that come from being a divorced boss. Right. So we're going to lean into quite a few of these things tonight because it's real talk. And we want to help people wherever they are level up in being a boss. Right. So what is imposter syndrome? You guys drop that in the chat for me. You guys know we love for you guys to interact with us. Drop that in your chat box. When you hear imposter syndrome, what do you think? When you hear imposter syndrome, what do you think? So let me go ahead and just share with you as you guys are dropping in there. If there had to be just one phrase or one word, can I say it's inadequate? For me, when I think imposter syndrome, inadequacy is the first thing that pops up, right? So research tells us very clear that people are in spaces and they are cowering down because we don't feel like we belong in them. We don't feel like that we're good enough for the roles. We don't feel like we can handle the roles, even though we have resumes that are long enough to fill that role and 20 other roles, right? So drop it in the chat for us. When you think or you hear imposter syndrome, which again came around in about the 1970s from my psychology world, right? And initially we talked about it as being imposter phenomenon. Now we call it imposter syndrome. But ladies, chime in. When you hear imposter syndrome, what do you guys think?
Oh gosh, when I hear imposter syndrome, I just automatically think fake it till you make it.
Ooh, fake it till you make it. How many times do we hear that? How many times do we say that? Fake it till you make it.
It should be face it till you make it.
Oh, wait a minute. That's a tweetable one right there. We need to face it till we make it, right? I love that. I'll put a pin in it. All right, Bolden, what you got? When you hear imposter syndrome, what do you think?
So I think more so on like and I guess it's the fake it till you make it, but the fraud syndrome, like you're not being authentic or you're not being your true self or what you think you can be. I honestly think of culture and environment too, because that creates the imposter syndrome. So when people are experiencing that, I always think about what culture are you in or what environment are you in, or who are the people that are surrounding you.
So let's lean right on in. We're going to go deep fast, right? And I tell everybody, this is a hot, heavy, but amazing conversation that happens really fast, right? So let's jump on in. A time when you experienced imposter syndrome. And y'all, can I tell y'all, this is real live. They didn't get these questions beforehand. And I'm intentional about that because I want you to see that it's a real conversation. It's not rehearsed. It is real life, on site, real time. A time when you experienced imposter syndrome, and like walk us through what was it like for you and your journey to shedding that imposter syndrome.
I'll go first unless you would like to, my love.
No, you can go ahead. Go right ahead.
Well, some of you may know that I have Crohn's disease, and a lot of people don't realize what it's like living with a autoimmune disease and being a boss babe, I guess you could say. So a lot of people, will hide that part of them, and they won't share that part or what you're going through or anything. And that's a huge thing that I used to think is, you don't share that. You shouldn't share that. That's not, people shouldn't see that side of you. People shouldn't. And, the more and more comfortable I'm getting with my authenticity and the work environment, I'm okay sharing that. And, I'm okay sharing that. Like, I just got approved for my medication, a lot of times, that's a hush hush. Nobody wants to talk about, your medical issues or anything that you go through. But I think just as important, there obviously is a fine line being in management and sharing what you have to and what you can and cannot with others. But I think you sharing what you're going through in your life, you don't know how impactful that can be for somebody who else is going through, who they might be thinking, they're going through their imposter syndrome and they can't share that with the world, and they're hiding their true authentic self. And you know what? Me sharing it with other people is making it okay for them to share it with others. And then guess what? Here we are. We're our authentic selves, and everybody's a lot more comfortable and everyone's a lot more happier.
Absolutely. So what do you say to someone who's out there? Because we're all about empowering others. What do you say immediately, even right now, to someone who is feeling in isolation, even in a position dealing with the health concern that realistically, from a legal standpoint and HR, like, we should have systems in place to support people as they're going through these things. But when people are afraid to show up fully themselves, like, it negates the system's ability to support them. So what do you say to somebody who's out there who possibly may be in a situation where, you know what, this is a part of who I am. It's not a disability. It's not disabling me from being able to perform. It's just a part of who I am that I have to press through. So what do you say to somebody out there who needs a little bit of courage or wisdom to be willing to share?
Stand on your 2 feet. You were given this as a superpower in a sense. You don't realize that now, but the more and more you share it with other people, the stronger and stronger you will feel. It doesn't feel like that now. Trust me, I've been going through it. I was diagnosed when I was 11, so I lived through school through it. I lived through college through it. I've lived through coaching and even, doing what I do now. It's not easy. It might take time. It might not take time. You might be that person that just one day wakes up and is like, oh my gosh, Katie said this, let me try it, and then, it works. But I truly believe in journaling and therapy.
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer in talking to someone. Having someone that is a different voice that you can communicate with, that's not going to judge you. I think that is something that has truly helped me get through, because I feel like at the end of the day, I know I can call up my therapist and say, this is what happened today, and I don't have any judgment or any, what's the word I'm looking for, LaQuanta, backfire, or they're going to be judging me or anything like that. So right. I mean, it's hard. It is not easy, and I'm not going to fool it because it is very difficult. It has taken many years for me to be able to come on live and, say I struggle with the illness and that I'm okay talking about it.
So you just said a couple of things I think that are super important. I think because, I wear, this is one of my shirts, right? Fiercely authentic. I wear it proudly, right? But can I tell you, it comes with a weight. It comes with a price. And I think that sometimes pop culture, social media, y'all, people are faking that they're fierce. Let me sit back in my seat real quick. People legit are faking that they are fiercely authentic. Again, imposter syndrome. It's not easy to show up as you, knowing that you are enough, and not folding with that. But that's very important that you just said that. Something else that you just said, and somebody dropped this in the chat for me. What I heard you say in essence was shame. You didn't say this exactly, but in my mind, shame can have us seeking isolation. Let me say that. And I know from my experience, right? Talking about imposter syndrome and feeling like you're not enough, feel like, oh, I'm the only one that's dealing with this. When we feel a sense of shame about a thing, it will have us seeking isolation versus seeking, like you said, some help, seeking partnership, right? Seeking to collaborate with people who can help us. So that's something that we want to keep in mind. Like you almost need to fight that. Like when you start feeling that I'm shame, I don't like, oh no, I gotta go against the grain with that, because it truly is the opposite of what's most beneficial for us. All right, Ms. Bolden, what you got for us? A time when you felt some imposter syndrome-ish coming through, and how did you process through that?
So my mom passed when I was 23 years old. And I've always struggled with the time when the time came that I would be a mom, because my mom was not going to be physically present. So throughout my pregnancy, this has been a very new experience for me. I struggle with, like, am I going to know what to do? Like, what's going to happen when the baby gets here? Am I going to be able to work and do everything that I normally do and have a child? And navigating that space, I mean, it's tough because women experience so many emotions after childbirth and after having children and going back to work and finding a new life or finding life with a child. And I'm 35. So I started saying my kid was going to be in kindergarten. I'm going to be 40. Like I went to the, we went to the doctor, and I'm considered a senior parent. So those conversations start having me thinking like, oh, like, am I going to be able to do this? Like, and seriously, I had to put myself in a space and think about, like, you know, I didn't plan to be a mom at that moment, but it happened, and that was God's gift to me. So Ja'leasa, how are you going to navigate this space? And so I am also a breastfeeding mom. Exclusively breastfeeding, and going back to work and navigating what that looks like for me was very difficult. And so it's a space that I'm currently in, constantly having to do positive self-talk to myself and understanding that, like, girl, you got this. You do everything. Like, you can do everything. You can do anything. And constantly telling myself that. And it's a very vulnerable space for me because I am bubbly. I'm happy all the time. I'm a servant. And so when I share that with people, it's like, oh, oh, like, yeah, I have days where I struggle, and then I have days where I kill it. And the days that I struggle, I remember on the days that I kill it. And so it's a space that I'm currently navigating and pushing through, because being a wife, a mom, a professional, like those are some heavy feats and some strong journeys. And for women, like, we got to boss up in those roles. You got to ask for help. That's something that I struggle with, asking people for help. I can do anything. I'm Miss Independent in the best boosty, the best way to spell it. You know, I'm Miss Independent, but I had to learn, you know, to ask people for help. And it's been a journey. It's been a journey for me.
Absolutely. So listen, you just said a couple of things that is like, absolutely. So that whole, let me tell you some, according to research, right? What are some of the impacts that imposter syndrome can have on us? One of those things is perfectionism, right? Another one is this superheroism that, like, I'm the one that saves everybody. I don't need to ask anybody for help because I'm the one that saves everybody, right? So those are some ways that imposter syndrome actually show up in our world. Y'all, in the chat for me, drop in the chat right now, have you ever experienced imposter syndrome, and what has it looked like for you? Let me tell you some other ways that imposter syndrome shows up. Fear of failure, right? So one of the negative impacts specifically for women, because again, the research is crystal clear that it impacts women more than it does men. Ladies, why do y'all think that's the case? Bolden, Zazzara, why do y'all think that it impacts, according to the research, this isn't just what I think, right? Research is clear that imposter syndrome impacts women a lot more than it does men. What do you think about that?
You know, I think men do not, men are more one track minded in a positive way. You know, they can focus on one thing and be good with the one thing that they're focusing on. And most women play multiple roles, and we carry all of those things. And I'm just speaking from my husband. My husband can focus on something. He runs 100 miles a month, and he gonna run those 100 miles. Me, I can say I want to run 100 miles, and I might walk 50, but he can set his mind direct. It doesn't matter what's going on with anything else, and kind of push through. And I think with women more so, we wear a lot of roles, we wear a lot of hats, and in our nurturing spirit, we tend to think, how do we show up for other people more than men think about how they show up for other people positively.
Yes, I gotcha. Thank you,
I'm
Katie.
gonna-
So, I'm going to ask you to also lead with this, because the industry that you are in is a very what dominated field.
Male.
Okay, talk to us from your perspective, being in a heavy, y'all, she is running BMW over there like the boss, right? But can I tell you, it's a whole bunch of men over there. Like, they all nice and sweet and but it's a whole bunch of men over there. Talk to me about, why do you think women possibly deal with that more than men do? And ladies and gents in the chat, drop it in there. Why do you guys think that? Audience, why do you think women are affected more by imposter syndrome than men are?
I'm going to tap on the fact of feelings, carrying emotions. You know, our emotions are our superpowers, but we start feeling a certain way, and then we start, like you said, judging or shadowing or whatever the case may be. And then, but men in general, they just, it won't faze them. They don't feel sometimes, I guess. Sorry, there was a fly. And me, my emotions are everything. They're all over the place half the time, you know, us with hormones and everything. So I think that is a superpower, but we are better multitaskers. I do think that we're able to manage other different things and compartmentalize a lot better. Not necessarily better, but maybe in a more efficient, proactive way. Unlike men can, they might be able to only focus on one thing at a time, and we can have our hands in multiple different hats at the same time and still figure out what's going on in the whole situation, if that makes any sense at all.
Absolutely, it does. It does. So I told you guys, some of the impact that imposter syndrome can have on is that whole perfectionism, right? Matter of fact, everybody in the chat right now, I need you to put, I am a recovering perfectionist. I say that often because it is truly something that I am daily continuing to work through, right? Like, I want to challenge myself to get out of this place of fear of failure. And can I tell you, one of the other impacts of imposter syndrome, not only is it fear of failure, but it's fear of success. Can I tell you, sometimes, like, we honestly are scared of what would happen if we would accomplish the thing. We are actually afraid of what we are capable of doing, right? So that's one of the other things. But right now in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and start leaning into, what can we do to combat this thing? What can we try in our world to get past it? Because you guys know, again, Boss Moves is about where research matches real talk, real life, right? How do we get through this thing together? So one of the first things is acknowledging our accomplishments. A lot of us are scared, timid, have even been taught, you don't brag about yourself, right? You don't share what you're good with. You let somebody else do that. I want to ask you right now, go ahead and go in the chat. Drop something in there. What are you good at? What's an accomplishment? What's one of your capabilities? What are you competent at doing? Ladies, share that. And I'm challenging you because y'all are boss women. Bolden, what are you good at? Share with the people some of your accomplishments recently.
So I am good at communicating. I'm good at leading a diverse group of people. I'm good at being a mom. I'm really good at being a mom.
I love it.
Most recently, I was acknowledged as a top 40 under 40 for the National School Public Relations Association, which is really big for me, given that, I'm in a southern region, and we have so many people across the world leading schools with 30, 40, 50,000 kids in it. And so that was a really big accomplishment for me. I am the first, and I didn't really embrace this until this weekend. I was at the National Junior Auxiliary Conference, and I will be the first African American member to go live in that organization in my local chapter, and that means a lot to me. And it means a lot to my community, given that it was established in 1966. So I really love kids, mine and other people. So I'm very proud of my mentees that I have across the coast, across the world. Young women who are doing boss things in a young age, and as they matriculate into womanhood. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm good at being a friend. My tribe is my vibe. That's what I say. Like, my tribe, my vibe. And I pride myself on my friendship hat. So shout out to all my friends that are on watching. They all in the chat and comments. But
I love it. I love it.
I really appreciate them too. So those are the things that I'm good at, and the things that I make sure that I shout out on myself, that I share with people, because a lot of people see my personality. They follow me on social media, and it's like a passing, like they don't really know me personally. They just see all the things that I do. But the things that I'm good at, I really hone on those things, and the things that I'm not so good at, I found people to surround myself with that can do that.
I love it. I'm going to highlight somebody that just dropped in. None other than the one and the only original Miss Bryce. If you are not following her, you need to do that right now. She says making art, y'all. She kind of just was real, y'all. We real humble with who we are and how we move. Can I tell you, she is on international stages winning awards. She is right here in Mississippi. She is a filmmaker, and I had the pleasure of working with her at the end. When was that? I guess it was the end of last year. Yeah, end of last year, on a project that she was leading around women in music. And it was absolutely such a phenomenal experience working with her. That particular piece of her work, y'all, has gone on right now. It is award winning. Do you hear me? So kudos to you, Talamika. We're so excited to have you guys. And again, if you are not following her, you want to do that. I promise you, she will inspire you in one way or another. All right, Katie, what you got? What are you good at? I can tell the people a few things you're good at, right? Straight out the gate.
Please, Bill.
Are you good at, Katie? Talk to us.
I'd like to say I'm a great communicator too. I don't meet a stranger anywhere I go. I will come up to you no matter, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the person mopping my floors. You could be just someone random in a Tennessee shirt somewhere, and I just will come talk to you. But that is like one of my superpowers. I think that's one of my God-given gifts.
I'm gonna pause you. I'm jumping in because I want you. That's one of those things that we undermine who we are and how we show up and the impact that it has on people. Let me say that again. So many times we are good at a thing and we'll minimize that thing. Okay, you're good at talking, but let's take that talking to a bottom line. I mean, Katie sells so well. Y'all, don't go her way. She is so amazing at selling. Not only is she great at selling, but her customer service is top tier. It's top tier. I'm sorry, I jumped in. I just needed people to see. Sometimes we'll minimize that. I'm well at talking, but how does that translate to business? How does that translate in your personal and your professional world? You need to know that that's what you are good at. Well, you can make impact with that thing. Y'all dropped it in the chat. I can make impact with that thing, whatever that thing is, but you got to be first willing to say, you know what? I am good at that. I am. Okay, you can keep talking. I'm sorry. I just had to jump in because
You're right. You're right. I miss it. I miss it so much. But now I get to impact a lot of people on the phone, and anytime they call in for service, or whether it be sales, or a lot of people are intimidated coming into the dealership life too, and I get to make them feel a lot more comfortable and confident coming in, especially shopping as a woman. A lot of women these days don't feel like they want to do it on their own. They either want daddy with them, or they want their husband with them, or whoever. They have to have them with them to, feel like they're making the best decision and not getting a one up on anybody. But what was so nice, and LaQuanta can speak on this experience herself, coming in and having that experience with me. And it truly is. It's a unique gift that I have in making someone feel a lot more confident, comfortable, and educated in their buying experience. It's something that I am very good at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So everybody dropped it in the chat. Tip 1, what we are going to start doing today, all of us. And can I be honest? Like, it's one of those things that we have to constantly check. You mentioned Ms. Bolden changing roles. Can I tell you, as I've shifted and my career has expanded, I've had to check myself. Can I tell you, as I have now stepped into a space where I'm on international stages, can I tell you who's normally on the international stage with me, who's normally on the lineup, like you got the pictures on the front of the program? It's typically men. And if it is a woman, she's not showing up with earrings like this on and this country girl, like it's just not. And so even as I've stepped into those spaces, like I've had to, like, wait a minute now, am I trying to blend in? Is that imposter syndrome setting in? Or no, wait a minute, let me check myself. And so even with these tips that I'm sharing with you, real life happens to me too, y'all. I'm growing and evolving the same way we all are. That's why I said we're in this together. It's the Boss Tribe. We're doing this thing together. So again, acknowledging our accomplishments. And I want everybody to get in the habit of doing that here on out. Number 1, acknowledging your accomplishment. Number 2, reframing those negative thoughts. Ms. Bolden, I'm going to ask you to speak to this one, even though I didn't talk about it before because you kind of leaned into it. Talk to us about how you are working on this particular tip of reframing your negative thoughts.
Yeah, so a lot of positive self-talk. I do a lot of positive self-talk to myself. One, because I'm a words of affirmation girl, and I love me. Like, I love me. So I make sure I love on me, and I do the things that I need to do so I feel what I need to feel before I expect other people to do that. And reframing from negative thoughts is a thing, because your culture that you're around every day and the environment that you in can perpetuate that type of behavior where you are thinking negatively. If you're not in a space that's succeeding, or not in a space that is always positive, it's rough, it's hard work, a lot of time that comes with negative connotations. Absolutely. So for me, I always have a positive narrative about an experience that I have, whether it was a bad one or not. So this morning, I was in Memphis for 24 hours, Katie. So I went to Memphis. I was in Memphis for 24 hours. I was determined that I was going to this conference. So I flew Saturday morning, and I flew back this morning. And the whole time I was telling myself, like, I lost my keys in the process of all of this. But I was telling myself, like, it was worth it. I needed to do this for me. I needed to learn. It was some things that I needed to learn, some relationships that I needed to build. And I told myself that the entire time. And for me, that's what changed the trajectory of my day. When I got to Memphis, shout out to Memphis, they have a lactation room in the airport. So I was able to recollect myself at 5:15 a.m. And it's because I didn't say, oh, my day messed up, I can't find my keys, I can't, like, this is a bad idea, I shouldn't have came for 24, I should have been at home with my husband and my kid, like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. We start shifting all of our thoughts to negative thoughts. But I remain positive, and that's a big thing when you are multitasking, when you're juggling multiple things, and when you're trying to be a boss. You gotta think that you can be a boss. You gotta know that you can be a boss. You gotta know that you can do those things. So that's my whole spiel on just making sure that you have positive self. Get your affirmation book. If it's something that you want to do, learn to speak positive affirmations over yourself, because that negative self, it will talk you out of doing some amazing things.
Absolutely. Can I tell you, it's so important that it is this O in my boss framework. Like when I'm speaking, when I'm training, when I'm coaching, it is a huge component of what I teach, what I train, because your mindset matters. Everybody drop it in the chat for me. If you've not dropped one single thing all night, I need you to drop this one. My mindset matters. It truly is a game changer. It's the thing that it can either give you some life or it can take life, right? It's up to you what you decide. And like you said, you could have easily said, all right, the keys are lost, all is doomed, time wasted, I'm stressed, right? Or you can say, no, at the end of the day, is it gonna matter 5 hours from now? I found them. Is it gonna matter five hours, 5 days, 5 months? No. And so that's a quick boss hack to ask yourself, is this thing gonna matter in 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 months? And if you can quickly say, you know what, nope, it's not, let it go, sis. Let it go, brother, and keep it moving. Because again, talking about research, do you know that the average person, we have anywhere between about 15,000 to 45,000 thoughts a day? Let me say that again, between 15 to 45,000 thoughts a day. Research has shown us that 80% of those, whatever your number is, are often negative. And then we're wondering why we're going in circles, and we're wondering why we're stuck in imposter syndrome and we're stuck behind the mask. Can I tell you one more time for the people in the back? Your mindset matters. And our mind is a brain. Our brain is a muscle. Our mind is a muscle. And y'all know I've been on this journey. I'm getting a little firm in some places, right? Body recomposition action. But it's a process. But you can train your brain to be more positively focused. And when you do that, can I tell you, you bossing up. You can make more impact that way. All right. So
I
again,
want to say this, Dr. Nelson. So you said in 5 minutes, will that thing matter? You have to do that with people too. When you experience things in 5 minutes, will that person matter? Because people have a unique way of messing up what you got going on, and they don't matter. Like, so there's some people that don't matter, but it's some experiences that you have with people that do not matter, and you cannot harp on those things.
Can I tell you, and it's gonna feel a little churchy, but it's okay because I am a woman of faith, and this is it's a beautiful thing about this side of the work that I get to do. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Can I tell you, he does it through distractions and discouragement. You know, a lot of people think, oh, the devil come to kill, steal, and destroy. Oh, somebody gonna physically. No, it's coming through distractions and discouragement. And guess what? That often come through people that you are around most often, right? So we have to condition our brain. The old folks in the country say, you better guard your heart, baby. Guard your heart and guard your mind, right? So even with that, energy is contagious. Y'all know I say that all the time. Energy is contagious. So it's some places, it's some people that I cannot stand. My purpose and my future, what I have to do, I'm changing generations to come. It can't afford to stay in that space. The cost is too high. Drop that in the chat, y'all. The cost is too high to spend too much of your time and too much of your energy with negative folks, right? Because energy is contagious. So again, tip 1 was, because y'all know we always in teaching mode. I am an educator. Right? Tip 1 was to acknowledge that accomplishment, what you're good at. Tip 2 is reframing those negative thoughts. And remember those affirmations every day. You need to wake up and talk to yourself. People say, oh, listen, you better talk to yourself. Others are feeding you things all day. You better feed yourself and you better listen to the right thing, right? So reframing those negative thoughts. Tip 3 is practicing self-compassion. Everybody drop this in the chat. I got to learn to give myself some grace. And I know that's incorrect English because listen, we got an English major on here. I must. Matter of fact, drop it that way. I must learn to give myself grace. So I told you guys, one of the byproducts of this whole concept of being an imposter is that perfectionism. And it'll stall you from doing your work, right? So we've got to learn to give yourself some grace. Where's the humanity? Katie, are you a human being?
Yes.
Bolden, are you a human being?
Yes.
we are being, we are evolving, we are learning, right? I'm growing, I'm flexing, I'm doing all of those things, and perfection is simply not required. Y'all drop that in the chat. And you guys, my boss tribe, you know I say that often and all the time because we need to hear it. Perfection is not required, but progress is, which leads into the last tip for the night. set those goals and get to growing, girl. Let's grow, girl. Talking about imposter syndrome. How do we move from here to where we want to be? Nothing's in that space stopping you but you. That's it, right? So let's say, because we want to be real, we want to be honest about the thing. Let's say in the process of in the job, I feel like I'm not good enough for the job. I need you to do a self-evaluation. Why do you feel that way? Is there a certain aspect of what you are doing that you feel like you need to grow in? Do I have some deficits? Own those things, acknowledge them, and get to growing. Drop that in the chat. I must get to growing. One more time, y'all the incorrect in English, but we're dropping it because you understand what I'm saying. I must grow. Your evolution is required. It is necessary for you to operate at your highest level and as a boss, right? So here we go. We're down to the last question, y'all. Oh, we almost met the time. We went over a little bit. This was good. We might have to do a part 2.
We might have to.
That I didn't lean into, but I got note of it, down to the part about the men, it's a whole bunch of stuff, and y'all dropped some amazing nuggets, right? I must grow. Yes, we've got to, folks, and we've got to give ourselves and others around us grace and space to do that. Stop holding people hostage to who they were yesterday. Stop holding yourself hostage to who you were yesterday. Give yourself space to grow. Give yourself grace to evolve. It's critically important, right? So here we go, down to the last question I have for you guys. So you guys know BOSS stands for bold, optimistic, spontaneous, and substantial. It's not about your title. It's about using your talent for greater good, right? It's not about a position. It's about operating in your purpose. Which one of those letters in the BOSS framework mostly resonates with you? And what advice would you give to somebody in that area? So again, bold. And remember that bold stands for being authentic, right? The O stands for being optimistic. So bold, optimistic, spontaneous, and then substantial. Which one of those letters most resonates with you? And then what's your advice to someone listening that can help them grow in that particular area?
I think I'm best at the optimistic and bold together. I think that they sync together.
Yes.
If that makes any sense at all for me.
Yes.
I am just, when you see me at LaQuanta, you can testify to this. I just walk around. I walk around with a smile on my face, and it doesn't even matter if I'm having the worst day possible. It is going to bring some optimism into someone else's life, and I'm bold about it. I am very, very, very bold about it, and I would not change that about myself. That is one thing that will always be true to myself.
I love it.
So I would have to go with the B, bold, and substantial. Because,
is that just because it's Bolden?
Yeah, because it's Bolden, but I was bold before I became a Bolden.
Okay. So you heard that. You heard that.
So, but being bold is stepping out, believing in yourself, having the confidence, and being that in this space. So for me, it's bold and substantial because I want to leave a legacy that's beyond Ja'leasa. I want to be of substance in the things that I do. So it's the B and the S for me.
Yes.
And I want to be more optimistic about what that looks like in the new roles that I have, because it's way bigger than me. It's way bigger.
I love it. It absolutely is bigger than me. And if we're being bossed the right way, it's that mentality. It's about legacy work. Like, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that somebody's great grandchild, right, is going to benefit because they passed my way. Right? I'm talking about generational shifts. Y'all drop it. Here we go. Last question. What tonight is your big takeaway? Y'all know I'm all about one. From tonight's talk, I need you to drop one thing in the comments that you are walking away with from our time together. Y'all know I love y'all, and I mean it. There's nothing you can do about it, right? I absolutely love you guys. It's always a pleasure to spend just a little bit of time with y'all. Y'all look at these mamas with their babies. Now, Tyler Jacobs is 11. Sometimes he'll sit in my lap still, but he got at the play like, Mom, get into that space, right? Y'all see those beautiful babies in their laps, right? So drop in the chat for me. What's the one takeaway from tonight that you are walking away from boss moves with. You guys know how we ultimately end is I'm making boss moves this week. So go ahead and drop what's your one takeaway? And you got to drop I'm making boss moves this week. Know that you are perfectly positioned for your purpose. Let me say that again. You, regardless of where you are, how you right now, you are perfectly positioned for your purpose. So don't take that for granted. Get to doing it. All right. So again, drop in there. I am making boss moves this week. Walk in grace and be bold. Absolutely. As we're wrapping up, I am so excited. We do still have a few slots left for the boss retreat. So make sure that if you are interested and you are ready to level up in a way that you've not done before, we want you to, let's see if I can drop. There we go. We want you to go ahead and get that in tonight. And don't forget, we still have I Am Such a Giver, because I think purpose work is all about servanthood, right? I am so excited to be able to give away a full-blown vacation for somebody. Go to my Facebook page and simply join the challenge, right? It's that simple. I'm going to give that away on Mother's Day, and I'm so excited to be able to do that. It's been our absolute pleasure to spend time with you. Y'all have any parting words?
Be bold.
Be bold. I love it.
Oh, be bold.
Be bold.
Speak positively.
Be beautiful.
Over yourself. Speak positively over yourself. And if that's not something that you are accustomed to doing, start doing it today. It's a game changer to refrain from all of the negative thoughts.
Absolutely. Again, we love you guys, and y'all know what to do. Go be boss.